What did Stevie think? Did he ever get to a show to watch?
Yeah, he actually you can get on YouTube and you can see him. See, Stevie was not in a great state by the time I got to him in life, and we tried to improve his way of life and his health and everything for him, which we did to a certain degree, which was very pleasing and made I reconnected him with his son, which was great as well. He had a few bad people hanging around with him, which didn't help. And so, yeah, well, look, we did a lot of good stuff there. But Stevie, yeah, I sang with him about, I think, 3 times, which was great. The first time we tried to do EV1, but he was just a bit lagging. So we used to do EV2, where he had that time to think and breathe and get himself set. And yeah, that'd bring the house down. But when he saw the first show, I said to him, "So what do you think?" I looked over and I saw him actually crying a couple of times. I said, "I saw you crying." And he goes, "No, I've got a bad eye." And I said, "What? Which one?" He goes, "The left." And I said, "Well, both of them weren't working, mate, because you were rubbing both." So yeah, it moved him. I know that, and I think he was just proud, really, that his story was actually told, warts and all. That's for sure. And he was happy for that to happen.
I'm a bit of a karaoke fiend. I mean, I'm not a great singer. I'm not saying I am, but I love my karaoke. And there's 2 songs I always pick at karaoke, and it's always Evie Part 1 and Mustang Sally. But Evie Part 1 is just I don't know what it is about the song that kind of gets the adrenaline pumping, gets the room going. Even if you're not great at singing, which I'm not, the room gets up, they get dancing, they feel they want to get into it. And then to listen to all 3 parts is, because I love part 3 as well.
Me too. Yeah.
The whole song together, and it's one thing you never really get to hear is all 3 parts one after another at
not
places.
Very often.
No, and it's just brilliant to hear all 3. It's almost like a mini rock opera in its own.
That's correct. Mate, it was the first song that went for 11 minutes and 11 seconds to be a number 1 anywhere in the world. And I don't think it's happened since. As one piece, 11 minutes, 11 seconds. The DJs used to love it because they could whack it on and go to the toilet and go make a cup of tea and come
have
back and,
finish
the show. Yeah,
that's what my old man used to say, because he used to be the local DJ at Blacktown RSL back in the day.
Right.
Workers Club. Sorry, yeah. So he was telling me stories. He told me stories of Rose Tattoo, the Divinals, the Models, people like that. He did some MC work for and everything like that back in the day. And he was just saying, I used to love just putting that song on, because he goes, I could just go get something to eat, go to the toilet and go get something to eat, and didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it was a great song. And listen, you're saying before that you don't think you're a good singer or whatever. It doesn't matter, mate. Just sing. The singing makes you feel good.
Oh yeah, I do it every chance I get, and I like I said, I'm not great. I know I'm not great, but I just love doing it. I know my limits of my voice, and I know what songs I can sing and what songs I can't. So
just keep doing it, mate.
I always try and skip Evie Part 2, because I just can't get my voice to sound good on Evie Part. So I usually
got to get a bit emotional.
Yeah, I usually have a mate who can actually sing. My mate from episode 2 of our podcast, who's a musician, he usually, when we do it, he usually does part 2, and I'll do 1 and 3. So,
righto. Well, there you go.
So it ends up sounding all right, a little bit all right. So, mate, with your traveling, I just want to ask you, because obviously you've heard the podcast before, so you know what questions are going to come your way soon.
Yes.
But, I just wanted to talk about your traveling and get some random questions going with your traveling. I just want to ask, what is the best place you've ever been to, and what is the worst place you've ever been to? And it can be worse for any reason at all. So you don't have to.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, let's, off the top of my head, probably the best place I've been to, and I've been to so many great places, but I'm going to say it's home. It's here. It's the Kimberley. It's the Kimberley coastline. There's a company called True North that have a 50-foot, like a 3-story, I think 50 foot. I might be saying not 50 meters. No, it'd have to be 50 meters. What am I talking about? It's 3 stories, has a helicopter on the roof. It's a 5-star event, and it's a flat hull bottom hull. So you can go into all these nooks and crannies. And seriously, this place took this mob, fantastic operators, awesome operators. Only 36 people on the boat. As I said, 5-star food and so many great adventures. But the Kimberley coastline itself and getting into these river systems and estuaries and seeing the crocs and some of the stuff we filmed when we were in there were amazing. We had such great fun. So I could go on forever about how great it is.
How close did it get to the crocs when you're in the boats?
They were everywhere, mate. It was insane. But stepping onto a beach that maybe 100 white people might have stepped on is pretty special experience. The worst place, well, look, I've been to a couple of places that I filmed at that just were pretty tough to make look good. But I think Russia was, while it was fantastic, it was a bit hairy as far as dealing with the official people there, put it that way. We were held at gunpoint in Red Square, by an undercover cop, and all he wanted was passport. Give me your passport. You cannot film here. I said, we're not filming here, mate. I knew he wouldn't shoot us in the middle of Red Square, so I sort of had my back up a bit like that. And our guide had just left us. He said, 10 minutes, I'll be back. I went, yeah, righto. Oh. And we had permits to film at this place called Gum, which is like the Harrods of the East. But he's saying, no, I see you film. I see you film. I said, mate, we haven't filmed. I said, this is a digital camera. And they see the camera because it's worth, the camera alone's probably the body of it, 60 grand. And the lenses would be probably 130 grand. So they know it's worth money, and in their eyes, we've got money. So I said to the boys, the crew, I said, just sit down. We're not moving out, because he's going, you come to police station. Police station? No. I went, we're not going anywhere. I've heard too many stories about going to a police station and then 4 days later you're released. I said, no, we're not going anywhere, mate. And we just sat down, and I, as he said, he said, a digital camera, mate. I'll show you what's on the camera. You can see what we've shot. And he goes, well, how about I show you this? And he pulls up his linen shirt, and he's got this big filthy Glock in his pants. Oh. And we went, okay, well, we're just definitely not going anywhere with you. And thank God our guide turned up about 10 minutes later, and they had a massive argument. So there was no fear from him, and all he wanted was money. So that, our agent came over and says, he wants money. How much have you got? And I said, and I had a wad full of US dollars, actually. I had probably about $700-800 on me. And I said, I've got $100, mate. They went back and argued again. He came back and he said, that's what I'll do. So I'm trying to, when you've got your hand in your pocket, and I'm trying to
work out what's $100
off without bringing out the rest of it. I got back to the boat. We got back to the ship we're on. We're sort of doing the river cruising, filming that for postcards. And I said to the boys who, we had a 19-year-old sound guy. He was shitting himself. He was thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to die here in Russia. Anyway, I said, boys, the other money that I couldn't get out of my pocket to give to him, it's going on the bar. So we spent the next 6 days working hard, but playing damn hard too.
Oh, and there's so many stories about that kind of thing in different countries, Thailand, Ukraine, different stories of people just, these police or officials, and all they're trying to do is extort money out of you.
I know.
And then the stories behind it, like when tourists, what they do to hide their money, the leaks they go through, to the extremes they go to hide their money from these guys, is quite funny as well. What's the biggest culture shock you had at a different country? Like you've gone, wow, that's like you kind of stood back and gone, oh wow, that's different. Something I'm not very used to.
That's a hard one. Maybe going to a little village in Cambodia, and basically the village survived and lived off the fact that they farmed tarantulas, and that they took the fangs out, quickly deep fried them, and sold them around a lot of Cambodia. And of course, the tourists would come to this place and flock to this place. And I think on my YouTube channel, or maybe on the Traveling Guy, I've got a clip of me actually eating one, and which was an experience itself. But my cameraman actually, the first bits are okay, like the legs and that are fairly crunchy, but it's the big bulbous ass on it that gets you, because
does it explode?
once you pop that, Yes, it's like that's where its brains and everything else is. So it's just like boom, and then and my cameraman, the asshole, turned around. And I did the first one, everything, got through it, got it down. He goes, "Oh mate,
we didn't catch that.
I need you to do one more." Hey,
he's like, "I didn't get that on camera. You need to do it again."
Yeah, he's basically said, "Oh, I want to get I didn't get a good close up. You need to do one more." I'm like, "Are you serious?
You arsehole."
Yeah,
and then they're probably laughing
so
behind your back because he's already done it. He's already got it perfectly. He just wanted you to do it again.
Mate, you know what? I don't think he even clicked on the camera. I think he just made me do it and then said, "Okay, there you go." And it was worse because it was a bigger ass. It was horrible.
Oh, Jesus. So my next question was gonna be this, but you might have already just answered. It was like, what's the weirdest thing you've eaten on your travels? Was it the tarantula?
Well, mate, yeah, the tarantula's up there. I mean, I've eaten snake. I've drank snake wine. I've eaten cockroaches, crickets, no bats. What else? Breakfast once in Thailand. It was basically a bowl of innards. So it was the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, and that was freaking hard work.
And they're not. They don't cook them, do they? It's just. Was it raw?
No, it's just thrown into this broth, pretty much. It's like it's let's call it braised. They're braised, so you have a certain thing, and oh man, I tell you, a couple of times it was nearly everywhere.
Oh, you know what? I'm a bit of a foodie when I'm weird food though. I will go and taste things for just the sake of saying I've tasted it. I was in Thailand and there was just some things that I just looked at and I was just like, yeah, nah. And especially when you go down, when you're in Phuket and you're walking the streets and they've got those little carts on the side of the road, and you go and look at some of those things and some of them are like a whole like lizard on a stick, and I was like, yeah, no, that's oh yeah, I'm not I'm not game enough to try one of them, but I love how you've got all this food in Phuket. You got all this like food that they have, all this street food and everything like that. And then just beautiful food. Thai food is amazing.
Yes.
And then just out of nowhere, you're just walking through Thailand, and then there's
old mate with his.
But then there's a sizzler, and then there's an old mate with he's like lizards like next to it.
Scorpions and lizards.
I must say my favorite thing in Thailand was like the little street carts with the crepes, the banana and Nutella and strawberry crepes.
Oh man!
Oh, I put a few pounds on while I was in Thailand. I'll tell you that.
Mate, hey, listen, if going on a holiday isn't about trying new things, definitely eating new foods and getting amongst the culture and trying different stuff like that, then don't go on holiday because I just.
I went there for my honeymoon, and I went to Thailand with not one single tattoo. I come back with 5.
Oh my god! Okay,
so
that's going from extreme.
Well, I'll tell you the story. So me and my wife decided to get a tattoo that we'd each get a different tattoo, but what it meant was her tattoo would be meaningful to me and her and so on. So I had this saying in Gaelic that I wanted, Gra Moshi, which is love of my heart. And I wanted it down my, on my forearm, like inside my arm on my right arm. So I hate needles. Absolutely. Oh, I just can't think of the thought of needles. So we ended up going and we got this drink that we couldn't find anywhere else. I've only just found a bottle. This is 7-8 years later. I've just found a bottle of it. It's called Tequila Rose. And it's pretty much strawberry milk with tequila in it, and it's the most amazing thing in the world. But we drank a bottle and a half that night, and I handed over my tattoo to this guy, and he's written it up, put it on my arm, and we've all gone, oh yeah, that's fine. So I got it done. In the morning, I'm sitting there having a coffee with my wife, and she's looking at it, and she's like sniggering, and I'm like, what is wrong? And she goes, they've placed it wrong on your arm. And I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, they have, but I could kind of deal with it. It's not that bad. But then we were looking at it more, and they've spelt it wrong. Completely wrong. So I've gone, oh no, I can't do this. So I've like raced down in a tuk-tuk straight down, gone into them, going, "Oh, you got to fix it, blah blah." And they go, "No, you can't fix it. We can't fix it because it's scarring, blah blah." And I'm like, "You got to guys do something."